how are you? In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how to leave your rats at home while you go out of town for roughly a weekend, maybe a little longer. 4 days is the max I recommend. Stay tuned. The day before your trip, you're going to want to deep clean any parts of the cage that you can. I would recommend you do this regardless of where you are in your cleaning cycle. In my case, I normally clean my cage on Saturdays, but as I'm going to be leaving and out of town over the weekend, I won't be able to do that. So I cleaned the parts that were dirty the day before. The day of your trip, you're going to want to prepare some extra enrichment for your rats. I'm going to be using a foraging wheel, and I'm going to also be filling up all of the foraging toys and scattering enough food for the entirety of the time I'm gone. For me, I use a full scoop of food, and I'm going to be using 3 of these in my cage. You'll also want to fill up water bottles so that they are full. If you use a bowl, get that filled up. Make sure you have more than one water source when you're going out of town, just in case one of them stops working for some reason or leaks or that sort of thing. I have 3 water bottles, which you will see. I'm going to fill all of those up, and I'm actually going to add a 4th one just to be safe so that there's 2 on each level. Lastly, if you have any extra items that you can give your rats to do, in my case, I've added a wheel into the cage this time around. I also rearranged the upper level of my cage and moved the toys around. These things will just give your rats more things to do while they're by themselves so that they're not bored while you're gone. If you can rearrange the entire cage, I'd recommend you do so. Adding in new chew toys can help, adding in new homemade foraging toys out of cardboard tubes or things of that nature. Just giving them something extra to do is really helpful to keep them busy. You obviously won't be able to play with them while you're gone, so this just gives them something else to keep their minds and bodies busy instead. Lastly, if you're able to, you're going to want to have a camera set up. Not everyone can do this, but I have one my husband set up for me that runs on a VPN so I can check on my rats while I'm gone. The day I come back from my trip, usually pretty quickly after I get home, I come up and check on my rats right away. I'll give them some pets, some cuddles, some love, and I will also feed them if necessary. I will give them some treats, check on water, just make sure there's no extra poopy places in the cage or that sort of thing. You might be wondering why it would be a good idea to leave your rats at home, but the thing is, rats, while they can travel well, they are very sensitive to environmental changes. This can be as simple as literally moving them from one room to another. And in some cases, that's enough to set off a URI with rats. So taking them with you everywhere isn't always a good idea. I only take my rats with me if, for whatever reason, I do not have the ability to leave them home or am traveling for longer than 3 to 4 days. Usually when I need them to stay with someone, they stay with my sister, who is trusted. She has been able to give them medications in the past, give them nebulizer treatment, and her kids just spoil them rotten. And that's it. That's how you take a trip with your rats staying at home. Thanks for watching. Bye.